Hey everyone, how's it going? Azran here, owner of the Calgary Language Nerds, and welcome to today's YouTube video. And today we're joined with Catherine, as you can see on my screen, because we are launching a new series on this YouTube channel and possibly even on my podcast. We'll see. And so I thought it'd be great to have Catherine on here because Catherine's the one who you'll see in the videos, and she's put a tremendous amount of work into these videos as well. And so I thought it'd be great to have her on. So Catherine, tell us a little bit about the series you've made, the course you've made, and what how everything works.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. Very excited about launching this first season of what will hopefully become like a long-term project. I'm launching a season for, well, first of all, it is in Spanish and for all the people who are learning Spanish, but it doesn't really matter what level you're on, like it's for everyone, basically. And the idea is that you will hear stories in Spanish on everyday topics, basically casual conversation topics, your background, your family, your interests, your work, and stuff like that. Stuff that we essentially talk about all the time. And you'll hear me talk about all these things, basically. That's the that's the gist of it.
Cool. You said
And
it's for like different. You said it doesn't really matter what your level is. So how does that? How do you make the videos in a way where like a beginner versus intermediate versus advanced could all benefit from a video?
so basically, I'm telling the same story at 4 different levels. So we
Mhm.
start at low beginner, we continue on with high beginner, we continue on with intermediate, we continue on with advanced. And obviously, as we progress, there is more detail, there is more, there's more content, but also whoever is listening can either train their ears or check what level they currently have, basically using this.
Cool. And what was the inspiration? So this is a maybe a unique video format. Most of the time when you have a listening video, it's going to be beginner or intermediate, or there's going to be a level behind it. Like what was your inspiration for creating this season where it has different levels with, all in one video? Like what was the inspiration? What are you hoping that people, if they follow everything, like what's your hope with it?
Well, it's fairly easy to answer, to be fair. I'm basing everything on metrics and numbers. So, you know better than everyone that in Calgary Language Nerds, one of the values that we have is to show people their progress in measurable terms. And these videos are essentially kind of like show but not tell about that. So we're going to go through each level. When I'm saying low beginner, high beginner, intermediate, they're all mathematical. So you have all the stats, and I'm speaking to you exactly the way a person speaks at that level. So
Mhm.
if you speak like me and you can kind of like mimic me like so, that's your level. And it's super easy. You can have an assessment free of charge anytime, any day. Now,
Mhm.
basically. No, but also it's not only the assessment, it's not only like where do I stand using the video, but it's also how far can I go. So basically you start at the low beginner level, and hopefully for the majority of people it's going to be fairly easy to understand. If it is easy, well, how about the next one? If it is easy, how about the next one? If it is easy, how about the next one? Maybe
Mhm.
you have started a little bit, you can come back to the videos and see if you progressed. Or maybe you can basically emulate the way I speak in order to sound better. Or like, I think there's a need to illustrate what the metrics actually look like, because I really like our metrics. Actually, I would like to ask a question back at you, because I'm talking about like CLN Fluency Framework. I would just be really happy if you clarify what I mean by that, even.
Yeah, I can just jump in. So most of the time when we look in the language learning world, the way that levels are described is with words. They'll have like, for example, I have an A1, that means I'm low beginner. I have an A2, it means I'm high beginner, so on and so forth. But how it's not done is numerically. It's not done in a very objective, measurable sense, which makes it really hard to know if you're getting better. In the fitness world, for example, if you go to the gym, you can see, oh, this is the 10-pound weight, this is the 15-pound weight. I lifted the 15-pound weight 15 times. I lifted the 20-pound weight. I can't even pick it up. Oh no. So you can very, very clearly see if you're getting better, how much you're getting better. It makes it easy to set goals, for example. And in the language learning space, we don't have that anywhere. And so what I did for a number of years is figure out what metrics should be measured, how do you measure them, and then how do you use those in a teaching practice then to help teach better. And so, for example, with Catherine, it sounds like what you've done is you've taken the idea of that and created one implementation. In this case, particularly through listening. like a listening based implementation of that.
Exactly. Well, it's listening and conversation
Uh-huh.
actually, because we start with the conversational topics that are every day. And at the end of each section, I offer our listeners some questions that they can answer themselves. And they can kind of like emulate my way of speaking or like the pace and stuff like that at each level if they so desire. Obviously, they're free to do as they please. And these questions help them to kickstart their conversational skill as well. And I think that our listening helps our expression, our reading helps our expression, stuff like that. So my hopes is for the person who has watched the first season, well, this first videos, they will have a little bit of a kickstart on their conversational skill already,
Cool.
and obviously
So
on the listening skill.
listening and conversation both through videos.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty
Yep.
unique. I would say that often videos is not like how often if you have videos, it's not really good for conversation, but you've done it in a way where it is. That's really cool. And then have you covered like specific topics, or is it like how does that work?
The topics actually also have been inspired by you. I really like the breakdown of having a casual conversation. So usually when we talk, the small talk, it all revolves around the same topics. So we will cover all of these topics. Now we're going to cover an introduction. We're going to cover your hometown, your family, your interests, your likes. For me, for example, I'll specifically talk about language learning because that's my special interest. And people who are watching obviously will talk about their special interests. It's not limited to that. Also, I'll talk about my career path, and the people will be able to talk about their career path. And I'll be talking about the methods I use in teaching, and people can speak about how they apply, like what kind of techniques and tricks they apply to their job. And basically, you will learn enough about me to feel like we have had this small talk, like we have had this exchange. And hopefully, if somebody else is going to tell you a similar of a kind story, you'll be able to understand some, and you'll be able to be ready, even if you don't have currently a conversation partner, to be ready to like at least answer those questions yourself and kind of like to rehearse if you feel like so. So that's the idea.
Yeah, and I know we were talking about this before, just before we started to record, that it's cool that this is almost like it really is like a course. Like there's worksheets and it's not like, oh, watch this video and all right, see ya. No, it's like a course with exercises and the ability to get assessments, for example. Multiple other seasons planned where everything builds together, and it's supposed to help really launch someone to another, to like into the next phase of their learning. So yeah, I think it's great.
So it's like wherever you stand, my idea, if you complete everything, if you do everything and stuff like that, my idea is that you jump a level. So for example, you start a low beginner. My idea is if you watch all of the seasons, you'll go from low beginner to high beginner to intermediate, intermediate to advanced. And I predict, by the way I structure it and by the way I try to present the information gradually, there are some things behind the scene in the season 2 that I'm working on that will expose you to enough information, vocabulary, grammar, and stuff like that. But it's at the moment a secret. I'll reveal it.
In fact, I don't
after the
even know.
first
I don't even
season.
actually know. Actually, it's a secret from me too. Actually, as now that you say, it, like, I
Yeah,
don't
no,
even actually know.
I just want to pull it off in a way that is essentially what it is. It's gradual exposure to the information that will bring you from your level to the level up and or 2 levels up. That's my idea. Yet again, it's a theory, and I don't know. Unfortunately, I cannot know the listener or the audience that is watching me, so I cannot predict their outcome with 100% certainty. But that's why I'm given the possibility of the assessment. For example, every video will have a free code, and I do not mind having people flock to my to my DMs so much to get this free assessment, because I would like to see people, I would like to meet them, and I would like to see how they're doing. And maybe this will give me an idea of whether the videos are working or not. And it will also showcase the people. Essentially, it's show, not tell. No, I want people to see how we assess. I want people to see how we teach. I want people to see who we are, and that's the idea.
Cool. Anything else you wanted to add? Did we miss anything?
Not really. It's just I would like everyone to see me in the first video, and I really, really hope that some will stay and will go through this journey together with me. I'd be very, very, very happy about it.
Totally awesome. Yeah, so the first video is going to drop in 2 days from today, and so keep an eye out for that. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone. See ya.
All right, bye bye.